Hello. Anyways, as of living in California and being to Stockton, and I'm going back and forth to Stockton. Sorry, bro. I'm just making sure my mic works right now. Anyways, yeah. Since there's a lot of tension between Thailand and Cambodia, as an Asian American citizen, I don't support it at all. It's just some people just make stupid comments and statements. Okay, as for me, like every time, like I feel sometimes, you know how like Thai people or Cambodian people, a lot of people are like warriors back in the day. So basically, I be feeling like a warrior. But the thing about being a warrior is you can't have too much peace. That's the thing about it, you know, like even if you live in America and you're an Asian American or an immigrant, you cannot have too much peace. I know there's a lot of Cambodians who want peace because they're an immigrant, but that's just, you gotta there's a certain limit to that. Some people, they can't have too much peace in this world. As an American citizen, I don't even have peace living in America because there's too many racism going on. But can you do anything about it? Nope. Well, you can, but at the same time you shouldn't, because that's how America should be. And a lot of different religions is coming to America. It's okay, but it's better off to be like an atheist, but like and being a good person at the same time. Even though it feels like you're a sinner or something like that. It's just how it has to be living in America. I know a lot of I don't know, I don't really know them personally, but I just met them. But I don't like know them like to on a personal scale, personal level. I just met them. I talked to them here and there. Yeah. So these Native Americans, some of them, a lot of them, are the people who have like Native American last names. They don't have a lot of privilege as they should have in America, especially because of their last name, and they don't have they have privileges, but they don't get a lot of benefits. Um, well, they have enough benefits, at least for the most part. Yeah, but living in America and you're an Asian American and you want peace, you're not gonna have that luxury. You cannot afford that luxury in America. You can have only enough peace to live in America to a point where you have to stick to your own kind. You have your peace, but you would have to like every time you go outside, you're just gonna like end up talking to your own kind, end up with your own kind if you want that luxury. You know, that's the only peace you have in America. Cause one, Latin people, they want peace too, but they can't have a lot of peace as they want because there's Cambodian, Lao, Thai, Korean, Japanese, Chinese. It doesn't matter what kind of needs. You be Taiwanese, and you go bother someone's like, let's say, someone's like a different race. You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna sacrifice your own peoples for a different race of woman. You know, that's stupid. You know, why would you do that? That's not peaceful. You're just causing destruction for everybody else. You're putting everybody else down. For what? For your own satisfaction? It's not gonna. Dude, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard. I'm not like I'm not a fully Buddhist. Like I believe there's peace and stuff. But the thing about living in Asia, in America, is Asia is a whole racist country compared to what Asian citizen Americans are. In America, you cannot have peace like you have peace in America. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work like that. And there's a lot of people in America who want it like that. They always been wanting it like that. They want peace, but you can't. They don't want certain people to get together. If you're Latin and you're brown, it doesn't matter you're brown. There's a lot of Latin who are white and brown, black. It doesn't matter what kind of Latin you are. They probably stick to their own kind, and it brings them peace a little bit. You know, so yeah. All I'm saying is these Cambodians out here in Stockton, California. So I think some of them are immigrants. They want peace, but they can't afford the luxury because they don't have their papers. They don't have nothing right now. All they need is their papers and they're good and stuff. But some people they choose not to. They go bother the other race, have sexual relationships, and end up uh causing destruction for other people. You know, it's like what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, that's what I think. I know there's a lot of different Asian Americans or citizens out there who agree with me, but and then there's gonna be like those people who are just hoeing around on a daily basis, trying to preach about peace and sex, bro. You only have lustful desires, bro. That's just shit's disgusting, and you wanna destroy someone's. So basically, there's black Afro Latin people who want peace, but with the how do I say this? But with their own people, like brown Latin people or white Latin people, they want peace with their people. But these Cambodians are so arrogant and so ignorant that they won't listen to them. Their ego is a little too high, and I'm not have nothing against them. I love Cambodian people. It's just some of them are good, some of them bad, you know. But sometimes you can't do anything because next thing you know, they start waving signs, start preaching. So that's why I'm on this YouTube video and preaching about this because it's getting a little too hectic right now. You can't preach about something you can't control, you know. The way they're protesting is ridiculous. You know, I only see I don't see a lot of white people. I don't see like the white people they're supposed to hang out with. They're hanging out with white people who are like they're not supposed to hang out with, not to bother them. You gotta know your boundaries in this world. If you're not with us, then you're against Asian people. Like you're against Asian people, period. If you don't wanna, cause as an Asian American, I'm sometimes I'm not even in control, you know. That's how I feel. Sometimes I'm not even in control. And once somebody starts talking about like, let's say Japanese starts thinking or feeling about a certain type of way, and then next thing you know, there's gonna be Cambodian whose ego is a little bit too high for them to handle, you know. And it's just sickening, you know. It's like what's wrong with them sometimes. I try my best. I try my best to talk to them. They end up being ignorant and arrogant as fuck, you know. Like sometimes I don't. Sometimes you feel like they want to die themselves, but they don't want to say anything. You know, they don't want to talk about anything. They just want to preach what happened in the past, in the 1960s, 1980s. And that shit's old news already. Everything's new. Right now, Thailand, they don't pity Cambodia how they did back then. That's the thing about Thailand right now. They're not being pity towards them. They're not giving pityness towards them. And now the Cambodians are taking control over Thailand through royal families and stuff like that. And yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but Thailand itself has been an Axis country. An Axis country has been like a racist like regime within a lot of countries. Let's say Italy, Germany, and and basically those two. Then there's yeah, Thailand. They were racist monarchy. They're an Axis military. And that's why they're racist. So yeah, that's how it's gonna have to be. Cause like the Japanese, they're also Axis military. I think they still are too, still today. They just hide it. They do it like on the down low, very low key about it. They didn't actually his country. That's why they don't. They still have this no blacks allowed. They have a lot of racism stuff going on in Japan. That's why Japan is like that. And these Cambodians is trying to fight back. No, that's weak. That's a weak move. You could go all. I hope these Cambodians know that they could go all over the world. But when it comes to America, we don't want to we don't want to have. A lot of Asian people in America don't want to suffer that. Not even Native Americans would want to suffer that, especially if the Cambodian people's egos are a little too high. These Cambodians, they just want to talk to Latin people to benefit them. They want to eat off their plates, you know. Sometimes like, you know how America is. It's a capitalist country, you know. You gotta get it on your own sometimes. You know, I went to a Mormon church for my benefits, but I didn't ask for everything. I just only asked for a paper and a test and exam to get what I wanted. I didn't ask him for illegal, like anything illegal, you know, like how these Cambodians are in America. They're gonna try to preach about something stupid, like some Asian people in this country called America. You know, I'm pretty sure, like, living in America, there's only certain places Asian Americans can go to. Like, only certain parts of America. They can't go everywhere. Because, yeah. And that's how it is in America. Well, that's how I think. Even though I moved a lot, at least I didn't fight back, you know. I didn't fight back too much. I just give up. But, you know, I'd rather give up than try to fight back, because what's the point of fighting back if you're not getting anything good out of it, you know? So shit, yeah, living in America, you can't have a lot of peace, you can only have just enough peace. Like, just, I would say like a medium amount of peace. My point of view of peace is keeping my distance from the other race, is my point of view of peace. Not talking to them. Like, playing video games, I'm okay. Video games are the epitome of peace. You know, something like a video game is epitome of peace. But outside of, like, playing video games and stuff, you're not gonna have peace. There's no peace at all. You might have a little bit, but not a whole lot. I guarantee you that. You're not gonna have a whole lot of peace. That's how it is. Some Asian Americans, they can't afford to buy a fucking video game because of their ego, or buy a PC because of their ego. You know, there's a lot of Asian women out there who don't want to buy shit like this because of their egos. Their ego's too high. They want to protect their dignity, this and that. They have too much pride within them that when it comes to certain shit, they're not ready for it, you know. That's how I am. I don't know why I had to suffer in the same position they are, and you know, how come they wouldn't want to just sit down and play video games all day? I think it's pretty cool, unless some Asian women make it difficult for other women, you know. Yeah, so basically, peace is a luxury a lot of Americans cannot afford in America. Yeah, monks can preach about it, and then at the same time, Christian people are right about not having peace a lot. You know, you're as a Christian, you're supposed to suffer like Jesus. You're supposed to be like Jesus sometimes. You know, that's what the Mormon people preached about. And it seems like a lot of these Cambodians did not listen to what they had to say before. They didn't want to suffer. You know, their ego was too high. They wanted to feel pityness, you know. But can you afford it now? No. Look at all you people. They're dying left and right because you can't afford the peace. You try to preach about it, you're just gonna end up dying. Like, it's ridiculous, you know. Like, I feel like no, like, you could take it offensively, but what the hell are you gonna get out of it from it? Bad news, right? I'm speaking for everybody, okay? Not just I'm speaking for everybody who wanna like keep a distance from other races. I'm speaking for those people, not people who want to be mixed in different races and be like, oh, it's so cool, oh, this and that. No, it's not cool, bro. Yeah, so you can't. Yeah, living in America, a lot of people can't afford luxury. You can't afford peace, and because the peace is a luxury, a lot of Americans cannot afford. Yeah, can't like these people. Look at these Cambodians. They try to preach peace. Can they afford it? Nope. Because there's a lot of people who preaching about no peace. You know, a lot of people in America don't want peace. You could either listen or you can, you know, you can get booted out of this planet, this universe. You know, you don't want that to happen. So yeah, stick to your own kind. If you, and yeah, and you'll have just enough peace if you fight back just a little bit. You know, that's how it is living in America. In the Asian military, a lot of Cambodians can't do shit about it. You know, cause yeah, Asian people and the Asian countries, they have a strict rule about being racist. They're very racist in Asian countries, and they want to keep it like that. So yeah, so all those Cambodians trying to preach about peace, you need to shut the fuck up. Put on your big girl, big boy pants, you know, and listen a little bit. If you don't listen, you're done for. You're gone. You're out of this planet. And if people want to dish your dead homies, I'm gonna let them, you know, cause you deserve it. You want to bother people for your own benefits, but you don't want to put in the extra work. Yeah, music is people feed off other people's music, but when it comes to like giving into something that's either deadly or like menacingly or evil, no, that's just I don't. That's not peaceful, you know. I know these Cambodians, our egos are a little too high, but what's we can get out of it? Another one of your females are gonna get pounded behind by some Mexican dude or some fucking yeah, someone, you know. And yeah, like I know a lot of Asian people with me. They wanna talk shit or diss you in like they gonna put your ass in a diss track. Be like, yo, these people suck, you know. These Cambodians just making Asian people look bad day by day, you know. I know, like I sounds like my ego's too high. It's just at least I listen just a little bit, not a lot, you know. I listen just enough, but I don't want to listen to like no lustful desires from no other race, you know. That's where I draw the line, you know. That's like that's like seeing one of my if like a Asian female gets pounded from behind by some other dude or some other race dude, that's like my homies dying. That's how it feels like, you know. And I'm proud. I'm proud to say that, you know. Like that's just stupid. Yep. So living in America, no Asian. It doesn't matter how high your ego. You could be Cambodian, think you're the shit, but you are not the shit, bro. Your ego's too high, especially if you think you're fucking with the other race. No, you're not fucking with the other race, bro. Your ego's too high. You're done for. You're out of this picture. You're out of this world. You're out of this planet. You're out of the universe, bro. You're done for. That's it, bro. Anyways, yeah, you could have enough peace, but not a whole lot of peace. Just enough to the point where you don't like you can't do shit. That's just enough peace. I give these Asian women just enough peace, but I'm not gonna give them a whole lot of peace, you know. That's how I am. That's how I'm supposed to be, you know. I'm a warrior about this shit. I'm not a peaceful monk, you know. I'm a warrior. I'm an Asian warrior, you know. And that's how I am, bro. And I'm gonna be warrior about this YouTube shit. It's like a fucking diary. Fuck, I gotta treasure this shit, you know. If it values me and benefits me, I'm gonna use it, you know. But I know my boundaries and where I stand making this video. Yeah, so no peace for no Asian people. Maybe just enough peace, but not a whole lot of peace. But when there's not gonna be no peace with me if you're gonna mess with the other race, you know. If you're gonna mess with Mexican just because of their skin color, no, that's where I draw the line. I'm not gonna draw the line. If you wanna fuck with Mexican, African or Mexican people, that's where I draw the line. There's no peace from here on out. I'm gonna cause havoc for everybody. I just want just enough peace, not a whole lot of peace, you know. You know, I still know that I could struggle. Like there's beauty in having struggle too. People hate that shit. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with these Asian women, you know. They need to like, I don't know. Their ego's too high. They think they're the shit all the time, but they're not. Well, what humbled me was making my own music. That shit was so trash. Like I had to yell in the fucking mic just to make that shit sound cool. Like I made my own beats. I tried that. I made a rage beat. You guys are gonna go check that out. Maybe in the next video I'll drop the link or something. But yeah, just enough peace for Asian American, not a whole lot of peace because we still gotta struggle, you know. They're struggling in protecting our peoples. We don't want nobody to go out of bounds and fucking with the other race. Yeah, like an Axis military. And that's it for this video.